Hello, we're at SMTConnect, first day in Nuremberg. I'm joined by Eyal Weiss from Cybord. Thanks for coming over.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we spoke at Apex, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And I think you've got a few new things happen since then, haven't you?
Oh yeah, we have a lot of new things happening since then. Not on this talk, but I can tell you that we're now introducing level 4 plus traceability to our system. So we can now have a kind of a traceability as a service, which is something really, really cool, because if you're, for example, not too large EMS, then most probably you're telling people and you're telling to yourself that you have some kind of traceability, but in most cases you don't really have them because they're kind of expensive. So we're now introducing a way using the images of the components we take from the machines to give traceability as a service. So you don't have to have any hardware to have traceability. Seeing every individual component, going on every individual board, reading the marking on every one, so verifying that the traceability data is correct. So that's kind of new.
Yeah. I mean, did you develop that specifically for the smaller EMS company?
No, we developed it as a requirement from our customer who wanted to have verification to traceability because they had failure in the field and they have traceability system and they did a recall just to find out that they recalled the wrong parts because there was mistakes or errors in the production lines. So they asked us for a way to verify the traceability information that they get from their EMS. So because we're seeing every component, we said, why not?
Yes.
So we put it into action and we made it a product, so now it's available.
Oh, it's actually out in the market now, yeah. So what are you talking to people about at the show this year?
Well, on this show we are working together with VTech on a solution that we developed, which is one of our products. Cybord is a software company, so we're not making any hardware. What we're doing is we are looking at electronic components using AI and big data to actually check all the components that are being used. Imagine that you could have seen every component that you put on every board just before you're placing them, and make sure that you're using only good products, and you make sure that what the product that you're putting is what you meant to put. Sounds trivial, but it's impossible today because there are hundreds of millions of types of components, and the line produces, 500, 700,000 components a day. So it wasn't practical, not realistic. But today with AI technology, just by getting the images of the component from the production line, we can do it. So we can verify that you're using only good components. Now, what it means is basically that if we have an image of a component, we can tell you who's the manufacturer, so if it's a counterfeit or not. We can tell you what's the quality of the components. Are there shorts, defects, corrosion, whatever, because we see it. We can have inspection of every individual component on the fly as it goes. Now, our main product as a software company is to inspect the components within the production line. So the SMT is taking pictures anyway because it has a camera. The AUI takes a picture anyway because it has a camera. So we're just using those images, uploading them to the cloud and using our AI to run all the algorithms. Now, we had customers coming to us saying, can you also check the components before the SMT lines? We said, yes, but we don't have a camera there, so how can we inspect the components? So we teamed up with VTech, which is an American company, very good one, usually makes taping machines, mounting machines, and we kind of worked with them to convert one of the machines to do inspection, to take pictures. So there's a reel-to-reel machine that rolls reel from one reel to the other reel, and we just take pictures of the component from the top side of every individual component in the reel.
Yeah.
And we use the same algorithms that we use in the SMT lines.
Right.
So we just another way to get those images. But this is extremely powerful, especially in the shortage in components that was just last year, because many people are forced to buy components in the free market. and the risk of counterfeit is getting much, much higher. So whenever you buy components from a non-franchise, you test them with this machine, and you can make sure that only good components get into the system.
And that's a huge concern at the moment, isn't it? And it's also, we're living in a strange sort of geopolitical era where, people are trying to move out of some markets and create new ones, and looking for new supply. And we spent years talking about shortages, and people are used to shortages now. It's like, okay, what are lead times going to be? And then it's making sure, as you're doing, that what you've got is actually fit for purpose, isn't it?
Yeah. The world of the supply chain of the components didn't evolve, let's say, as fast and sophisticated as the process.
Yeah.
Look at the production line. There's so much new technology put in every single machine in the production line, the AUI, the SMT, all inspections, quality, they're all monitoring the process. But the materials, the supply chain is built on trust.
Yeah.
You just buy them from a trusted source blindly, and there's no way for you to really know if there's good material and bad material. So this only goes so far. This is why the counterfeit market, for example, is over $70 billion a year.
Yeah.
So we're trying to use this big data and AI technology and bring the focus on the components themselves. So when you buy components, you can make sure that they're good, and you can avoid using bad ones or counterfeit ones. Because think about it like this. Today's SMT process is so good that they can put any component on any board. It will go, and it will even go through the first inspection and the testing. It will work. But after a few weeks in the field, under a little bit stress and vibration, if the component has contamination or cracks or corrosion, or it's a counterfeit, it will eventually cause a reliability issue, a degradation of the performance, shortening of the lifespan, failures in the field. So having control on the components is possible now, and I think it's a really must, especially when you need reliability and quality, like in the automotive industry or the medical.
That's fantastic. Well, that's quite a good thing to be talking about at the show, isn't it? So
yeah.
I hope you have a lot of interest on the booth. It looks a fairly busy show so far from what I've seen. So
yeah. So far, we are in this show. We are presenting the reel-to-reel inspection machine. We call it Kingfisher. Right. Again, the machine is made by VTech. And we get interest for manufacturers who, especially actually coming from the military industry.
Right.
Because military industry have to buy more and more components from unauthorized or from unfranchised sources, because they just cannot get them from other sources. Yeah. So they are forced to buy it in the free market. Yeah. So the risk of counterfeit and failure because of that is higher. So we're getting interests from military industry a lot about this. It's a way to make sure that your components is good and you know what you're using, even if it came from a non-authorized or not franchise source.
And that is the issue at the moment, isn't it? Rather than the supply chain issues, that's the chief concern of people seems to be reliability of components.
This is one of the issues, especially in the military industry. This is one of the issues. Again, we are a software company, so we're trying to address the quality and reliability and authenticity of components. And on this talk, we're talking about the machine that allows you to inspect the components before they even get into storage. So this is this aspect. Yeah. I think there's a lot of power if you see the components that you're using in production.
Yes.
But this is for a different talk.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to that talk. Good. Thanks for spending the time to talk to us, Eyal. Good to speak to you. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you.